Do you have some all-time favorite Michigan basketball players? Guys you watched growing up,
man.
guys you've learned about now that you're part of it?
I remember watching Mo Wagner, that 2018 team. So, just seeing like the evolution of, those teams under Coach B was super, super cool to see. And then obviously to be a part of it was, kind of a dream come true.
What have you learned about playing for Dusty the last 2 years that we might be surprised about?
Man, he's like the ultimate players coach. He's, so in tune with his guys, really just understands like what every guy needs. He's got a fairly good sense of humor. I think he likes to think that his sense of humor is, A+. I'd give it at like an A minus.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of The Lab with Champ Media. My name is Ben Lyons, and I'm very excited to bring onto the show today a guy who's been balling out in Ann Arbor for a number of years. Will Tschetter joins the show. It's nice to see you, big man. How are you? How are you enjoying this season with the Michigan Wolverines?
Man, it's been great. Obviously, whenever you're winning as many games as we are, it's, always going to be a fun ride, but we have a great group of guys too, which makes it all the more enjoyable.
I love asking the guys on this current team, you've all played organized basketball since a young age. Have you ever been on a team like this that dominated in this way? I saw your high school stats. I know you're a big deal in Minnesota. We'll get to that. But have you ever been on a group, like a team, or been a part of something like this? It's rather unique in basketball.
No, yeah, of course. I think that obviously, even just talking with some of our coaches, you never know, this might be the best team that any of us ever play on. So, just taking time to enjoy that for what it is, and enjoying everyone who's along with the ride is going to make it a special, special season.
And I imagine for you too, dude. I mean, you're a guy who's seen every high and low that college basketball has to offer. You've lived a full college basketball experience in your time in Ann Arbor. So I would imagine for you, you kind of appreciate the wins and appreciate the good vibes where they are right now a little differently than maybe you would have had you come in as a freshman and been a part of this.
No, yeah, 100%. Being, a part of, some of those, losing times here definitely makes you appreciate, what this team has to offer, what it's brought. Just the last 2 years have been so special, with both the success that we've had on the court and then, the great people off the court.
I had a chance to watch you guys play at the start of the season, the first exhibition game against Cincinnati. And that first half, team comes out flat. We're saying, oh, my goodness, this is not as advertised. What clicked? When did the season really start to come together, you think, for this group?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Cincinnati game was, not great. We had, I think our whole front court was damn near hurt that game. So, it was definitely not, what our roster was going to look like during the season. But I think the time that we knew we were going to be, a special team was definitely in Vegas when, we play a great San Diego State team. I think they only have 5 losses on the year. And we take it to them, and then we turn around, we play Arbor the next night. We're all right, ranked team, let's see what we're made of. And then we put it to them, and we play Gonzaga the next day, and it was just, just kind of kept it rolling. And I think that was the time when, we all kind of believed that we could really be a special squad.
So you're talking about that time in Vegas. I ask everybody, where were you for the Yaxel dunk? When you went oh my God. Where were you?
I think I was behind him. I was behind on the fast break when he dunked it. And I just remember seeing him by himself, and I was like, here we go. He's going to do something wild. And then I think Trey McKinney and I were just kind of jumping up and down the floor, oh my God. And yeah, that was good times.
He's a character, man. He's a real character. Had the privilege of spending some time with him in Ann Arbor earlier this season. he let us know that he's the best video game player on the team. And so far, everybody seems to co-sign that. Is that true? Is Yaxel the best gamer on the squad?
I don't know. I don't really play video games, so I don't really know that much. All I know is there was this time we were on our team retreat, and he brought his Xbox along. And my roommate and I were waking up early to go fishing, and he was still playing video games from the night before. It was like 5:30 in the morning. We walk upstairs to go to the bathroom and get ready to go out, and he's still just grinding away. But yeah, I've heard great, like just in like the chatter in the locker room, I've heard that he's an unreal 2K player.
All right, so if you're not locked in on the consoles, what do you like to do in the free time to kind of clear your mind and maybe get away from basketball?
Man, in the off season especially, love to just spend time outside, whether it's hiking, bird watching, fishing, any of that sort of stuff. I love to I'm a big foodie, so I love to cook and go out to eat with people and try new restaurants and new food. And then I love to travel too.
I was reading up about some of your, interests in the summertime and some of the things you've been doing to keep busy. It's funny, man. Oftentimes you meet a college kid in the summer, they intern at their family's law firm, or they have a passion to work for, an entertainment company. So they go out to LA for the summer or something. You worked on irrigation and built reservoirs or something on a farm, or talk to me about your passion for the land and what you've been doing in the summertime.
Yeah. So I grew up on a farm in southeastern Minnesota, and I've always been super passionate about regenerative agriculture. And so one summer I needed to fulfill a credit for I was supposed to go out to Wyoming to take classes, but I couldn't do that because of basketball. So I had a month and a half long kind of window to do an internship, and I did an internship out on a bison ranch and did some cool projects with them. And obviously super cool opportunity. I'm still super close.
Bro, I'm a kid from New York City. When you tell me you did an internship on a bison ranch, I'm like, what? That sounds insane. But you got a real passion for obviously how you grew up. You grew up on the farm, and so you're continuing to study in Michigan. It's cool.
It's awesome. I love it.
I would imagine some of your teammates probably aren't too handy on the farm. If you had to delegate your chores to your teammates, who would you maybe pause for concern with? I know Yaxel's a gamer. I don't know if he's necessarily, good with the chickens. Who would be handy on the farm and who would have some trouble?
Who I think would be handy would be, actually I'll start with where I would have concerns. I have concerns with, I think Namari would be interesting. I think he'd be a wild card. I think he'd either be a really good farmhand just because of how willing he is to do things. But it'd definitely be interesting because
he does the little things on the court, so he can do the little things around the farm.
Exactly. I'd be worried about Howie. I'd be really worried about Howie. I don't think he'd be able to complete the day to day. But I think basically everyone on our team, I wouldn't be that worried about.
Farm life's tough, man. For us city slickers, farm life's no joke.
No, yeah. But it's it's pretty easy to get the hang of once you get into a routine. So.
Well, you grew up in Minnesota. I know you competed against Chet Holmgren coming up. You had Paige Beckers making a name for herself out there. What's the vibe of just Minnesota high school basketball culture, and how did that prepare you think, for playing Saturdays in Chrysler?
Yeah, I think Minnesota basketball, growing up was so high level. Obviously it doesn't get as much recognition as, other places around the country, but some of the names that, you shared, and just competing on and seeing those guys compete on a nightly basis is so cool, and was definitely a really great experience and prepared for the high level of competition coming to college. And it's cool to see either playing against those guys still in college, either in the Big Ten or a non-con. or, just getting to watch people, play at the high level is super, super cool.
We've had a lot of your teammates on the show this season. Everybody talks about the trip you guys had this summer, going up to the lake. It seems like that was like the beginning of this journey. What do you remember about that time this summer, and how do you think it's prepared you guys for this season?
No, yeah, that was just like a great opportunity to kind of like come together and like see each other like outside the basketball court, which was, a super cool experience. We got to do like ATV rides, jet skis, all sorts of stuff that a lot of the guys had never done before. Oscar and I went out with Namari and taught him how to fish, which was a pretty cool experience. Even though it wasn't, the most successful journey or trip that morning, but it was like super beautiful. There was like some great fog coming off the water. I think we like ended up catching one like right at the end, but it was just a super cool experience to, anytime you're out on the water, it's just a great time in general.
I feel like there's a big like basketball culture and fishing culture crossover. Like a lot of hoopers fish. Like you see in the NBA, seeing at the college level, like you're one of those guys.
No, yeah, you see like Ben Simmons, Paul George fishes a lot. So yeah, there's definitely some crossover. Probably just like stepping away from the court, just a little bit more of a relaxing vibe.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like a good form of therapy, if you will.
Got to get a big boat. Guys are like 6'9", 6'10". You got to get a big boat.
Yeah.
It's something I didn't get a chance to ask you. Big reason why I went to the University of Michigan was because of the Fab Five, not because I was playing basketball at a high level. I was just obsessed with that team, with those guys. Feel very lucky over the years to have gotten to know them the way I have, and they're incredible, and they mean so much to me now, all these years later. I'm always curious with guys on the team now, what does the Fab Five mean to you, and what do you think their legacy represents?
Man, I think like the Fab Five is when they just like brought so much culture, and history to the game, but to Michigan in general. And, obviously playing for Coach Howard was, such a cool experience, hearing so much about his story, and how he kind of shaped and formed those teams. And then to get to, meet all of them over the years has just been, truly so cool. And super fortunate to have, met them and heard about their journey.
Those guys worked hard, man. They fought hard for the big shorts, and then an entire generation threw all that hard work right in their face and started rolling the shorts up way too high. And now it seems like we're back to like a respectable place where the work that they did, the ground that they laid, we can all, walk upon that, their shoulders.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely, a little bit of a baggier look is starting to come back.
Talk to me about your look on the court. Like, do you have something that like, you're superstitious about, or how does your whole look come together?
I wear the same shoes every game until I break them. That's my biggest suspicion. And then I don't wear anything else other than jerseys, shorts, underwear, and socks. I keep it pretty simple.
Hey, Jordan Brand, let's get this guy a new pair of shoes for the tournament, okay? We don't need him like Zion Williamson exploding out of his shoes. Like, let's get him a fresh pair of kicks for March Madness. Can we call somebody? Can we figure it out?
Nah, man, I like it that way. I like wearing my shoes broken in. They got to be comfortable.
When did your relationship with the Block M begin?
I was actually doing farm chores when Phil Martelli called me. And he was like, yeah, this is Coach Phil with, Michigan basketball. Heard a lot of good things about you, and, we'd like to start, the recruiting process with you. And I was literally like halfway climbing over a gate when I got the phone call. So it was pretty cool. Chores definitely took a little bit longer that day because of the phone call, but that was when it started.
Yeah, and you've had a long relationship, obviously, now with the city of Ann Arbor and with the University of Michigan. And I would imagine you've been recognized in some unusual places, rocking Michigan gear, and somebody says, go blue, or who's got it better than us. So just now that you've, been a part of the brand for a number of years and part of the university, how have you noticed kind of just the power and the representation of Michigan culture around the world?
Man, you can go like anywhere in the world, I swear. Like we were in Greece this past May. We're like walking through the Athens airport and on our way home, And there was like people like, I think I was wearing like a Michigan hat or something, and they were like, "Oh, go blue, go blue." And I was like, "Holy moly, we're literally halfway across the world." But like when we were in France for our Europe trip, there was people yelling "Go blue!" Like it's literally like anywhere you go. And even like away games, like when we went on the LA trip last year, or like the Seattle trip this year, like, you know, we have "Let's Go Blue" chants going in like the middle of the second half, where it's like just wild, like looking up and you just see like a couple thousand people in the maize and blue. So it's definitely super cool to be such, you know, like a big part of like a big brand.
Do you have some all-time favorite Michigan basketball players? Guys you watched growing up,
man.
guys you've learned about now that you're part of it? Yeah, who are some of your
I
all-time
remember
favorites?
watching Mo Wagner, that 2018 team. I watched them a lot, and like I grew up watching a lot of Big Ten basketball. We were a college basketball family. Always had the Big Ten on every night during the college basketball season. So, you know, just seeing like the evolution of, you know, those teams under Coach B was super, super cool to see. And then obviously to be a part of it was, you know, kind of a dream come true.
People might not know this, but from what I've learned, your mom's a bucket.
Yeah, yeah.
Your mom she
Yeah,
got buckets.
she got buckets in college.
Talk to me a little bit about your mom, the hooper, and what kind of influence that had on you.
Yeah, she actually like she didn't really push me. Like she was like, you know, if you like there's no pressure for me to like choose hoops. She's like, that's gonna be something that, you know, you fall in love with on your own. So there really wasn't a lot of pressure, but once I kind of like chose that path and like had the goal of playing at the highest level, she was like, all right, like you got to like take this seriously. Like you got to know what it's going to take. And, you know, she really helped like guide me through that.
She scored a lot of points in college. Do you ever watch some of her highlights? Does she ever sit you down and say, "Oh, look at this work I gave South Dakota here"?
No,
like,
yeah.
You know?
I've seen some of her highlights. There was a lot of scoop shots. She was a lot of crafty footwork down low and a lot of little flip shots up onto the backboard to, you know, get them in, and a lot of free throws. The hours of highlights is probably half free throws.
I love it, though. I love it. No, I was reading up on her, and I was like, wow, she really got after it in the 90s. Good stuff. You mentioned being a foodie. Ann Arbor is a great food town. What are some of your favorite spots on campus or even downtown?
Oh, man. For breakfast, I'd probably have to say Jefferson Market or York are my two favorites. For lunch, I love going to Monahan's Fish Market. And then for dinner, I'd probably say Dixboro Project, which is a little bit outside Ann Arbor, but I'll still categorize it in that space. Monty's great. Echelon is great. So
it's a really great food town. It really
there's
is.
tons.
It's a great food university.
Tons, so,
you know, I could see you after hoops and after all this is done, 20 years, 30 years from now, and working somehow in the agriculture business or the food business or something, or farming yourself. Or what do you see yourself doing? You know, you see yourself continuing the family business and continuing the farm life?
I don't know. That's definitely an option. My dad's kind of in the process of helping take over right now. So that would definitely be a cool opportunity to potentially do that and do some really cool things.
Yeah. I saw you. Did you study in China as well at one point?
Yeah, I lived in China for like 2.5 years. Yeah, my 4th and 5th grade years we spent there.
That's incredible. I mean, back then, you know, obviously, you know, basketball probably not as big a part of your life as it is now. China loves basketball. It's a huge basketball country. What do you remember about your time in China, and how do you think that's kind of shaped who you are today?
I wasn't even playing basketball at that point. Like, I don't even think I had really like picked up a ball. And it was kind of like right after China is when I started getting into basketball more. That was just such like a cool experience to be able to see like different part of the world, meet a bunch of really cool people, and just really see that, you know, there's, you know, more to life than, you know, just like the small town that I'm from. I guess that sounds bad, but like it's kind of valid. And
No, we're all a collection of our
Yeah.
experiences, and as a young man, like going over to China at that age, at a formidable age, I'm sure that really like impacted.
No,
who you
yeah,
became. That's really
100%.
cool.
And then like all the travel that we did over there, it just really kind of opened my
And mom
eyes.
was like, let's just get him out of the house for 2 years. I don't want to deal with him. He's like at that age where they're not cute.
No, yeah, facts. So no, yeah, but it was a great experience.
No, that's super cool. Super cool. Taking a look at this season, getting back to basketball, you guys got a big game down in DC. Going to be taking on Duke. Everybody's excited. A lot of history between these two schools. What are you looking forward to about that matchup? And what does it mean to be a part of these kind of, national games that everybody's checking for?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you come to, a program like Michigan, playing big games like that is, that's why you come to these type of schools. And it's just going to be like an opportunity of a lifetime to be able to play against, those guys, obviously with the season that they're having, the season that we're having. It's obviously shaping up to be a great collision course. Obviously we know it's going to be a really, really tough game. But we just got to take care of business going into that game. And then we'll worry about that when we get there.
Yeah, I imagine your relationship with Coach Dusty has changed a little bit over the years, having seen him from afar down at FAU, and now he comes up to Ann Arbor, and you guys are having a lot of success. Like, what have you learned about playing for Dusty the last 2 years that we might be surprised about?
Man, he's like the ultimate players coach. He's, so in tune with his guys, really just understands like what every guy needs. He's got a fairly good sense of humor. I think he likes to think that his sense of humor is, A+. I'd grade it at like an A minus. But he's always joking around. One thing that people might not know is he's a big nickname guy. He has a lot of nicknames for people. So that's always kind of interesting when he's trying to, piece together new nicknames for guys. They can be pretty interesting.
What does he call you?
I have a whole array of them. I'll get like my favorite one though is probably Chet Bomb. He calls me Chet Bomb.
Chet Bomb, huh? A term of endearment, a term of affection. It's not what he's yelling at you. Get back on defense, Chet Bomb.
No. It's all good.
What'd you think when you saw that footage the other day of him sitting sitting on the bench with all the Michigan State fans behind him? What was that about?
I don't know. I could definitely see like what he said in like the presser when he was saying like I kind of peeked out, and like those fans do like they're constantly just looking down that tunnel, just waiting for anyone to walk by. So they were probably chirping him, and he was like, "Man, like, I'm not ducking that smoke." And he like truly doesn't get like fazed by that stuff whatsoever. He kind of loves that. He loves the like the back and forth and the rivalry side of things. So I think it was just kind of like his, setting the stage, getting it all out right there, get all the yelling and screaming out, and just get ready to play.
Such an awesome moment. Send it to the Louvre.
Facts.
It's just an all-timer.
Awesome.
Lastly, as we wrap up here, obviously big goals for March and into April. And we're not yet there for you in terms of the end of your ride here in Ann Arbor. But if you look at your time here in Michigan, what do you think is the biggest challenge you've had to overcome, and maybe something you're most proud of as you look back at your time playing for Michigan?
Man, I would just say like the thing that I'm most proud of is just like, being able to be a part of, so many like great, people's journeys and have, such amazing connections through this university and relationships that I've built. And just like so much that like the university has given to me. And man, I'd say like, just like powering through things is probably, like the toughest part of it. Obviously like junior year wasn't, an easy year, but being able to just kind of stay the course and trust that it was all going to work out, was something that was super important for me in my journey. And I'm glad that I stuck it out here for sure.
And what's really cool about all of it is that, the best is yet to come. You still got some big moments ahead of you, man. And we wish you a lot of success, and hope to see you deep into March and April playing for Michigan, man. Thanks for spending some time.
Of course, no problem.
Chet Bomb joining us here in the lab Will Tschetter, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. My name is Ben Lyons, and you've been watching another episode of The Lab right here on Champ Media.
Go Blue.